Okay, so dude, here's my movie pitch for my movie called Super Battle of the Mega Quest 4, Quest for Peace. So here's gonna be my movie pitch idea. All right, it's very simple. I've worked very hard on it. It's the best pitch that I've ever seen. I got this whole script right here for you. Anyways, so basically, Super Battle of the Mega Quest 4, Quest for Peace. So basically, it starts out with all these gods, and you're like, dude, where are these gods and shit? And then, the main god, Super Battle Megatron, who's the main god here, he's like, dude, what if we made a bunch of dudes that were like us, but they didn't have god powers? And all these gods, they're like, dude, Super Battle the Megatron, that's a super good idea. So then Super Battle the Megatron makes the planet, and he calls it Planeta. So basically, these dudes, they're making this planet now, and all of a sudden, these dudes got this planet now, and they start putting these dudes on them, and they make the fucking solar system and that shit. And then, there's now all these dudes on the planet, and they're like, all right, now we're gonna look at these dudes and we're gonna watch them. And then one of the gods, dudette was like, what if we make some dudes with the magic power? And then Super Battle the Megatron is like, dude, that's a good idea. And then they give some of the people magic powers, and these dudes now have magic. And the way that magic works in this world is like people can cast spells with the magic, and they do magic stuff because these dudes have magic power and some of them do not. And so like the way the magic works is they can cast spells, and they do that's how the magic system works. I worked really hard on it. Probably spent about 100 hours on that one. Anyways, so now you got here, let me see my script. Yeah, you got these dudes walking around, and these dudes are just, making kingdoms, fighting each other, killing each other, making families, fucking making more people who fucking fight, and then do more dude stuff, all these dudes are just doing dude stuff. But then there's this one dude who's like the super wizard, and he's like, dude, I got this idea. And he's like, I'm gonna do dark magic, which is like normal magic, but it's dark, and it's like it's like evil magic essentially, So that sort of clears it up. So then this dude, he then goes like, dude, I got this great idea. I'm gonna enslave the entire human race. And then the humans are like, dude, I don't wanna be enslaved. And he's like, dude, this is gonna have to happen. And then he's like, it's gonna happen whether you like it or not. And they're like, no. And he goes, oh, no. So then he uses his dark magic powers and starts waging war on like kingdoms and stuff. And then he gets his army of like slave followers, and the evil wizard's like, man, I'm going to kill everyone. So then these dudes, they're like, shit, we're gonna be fucked by the dark wizard. And then this one dude, Zabonkalone, Zabonkalone, Zabonkulone is like, I got this, guys. And Zabonkulone's like this super warrior, and he's like super powerful. And then he goes on top of a mountain. He's like, Super Battle the Megatron, I need a sword. And then Super Battle the Megatron gives him the sword for the quest for peace, which is what the sword is used for. So now Super Battle the Megatron has given him the sword for the quest of peace. And then he takes the sword, and he's like, dude, I'm going to use this sword to destroy the dark wizard. And then he takes the sword, and he's walking down, he's going down to the mountain. He's like, I'm gonna fuck up that dude now. And then he finds the dark wizard. The dark wizard's like, meh, I'm going to fucking kill you. And then this dude, Zaburkulone, I think that's his name, Zaburkulone, takes the sword, and he's like, whatcha? And then the dark wizard's like, no. So then this dude, the dark wizard's like, fuck, I'm getting fucked out here with the Zaburkulone. He's got the super sword, the quest for peace sword, and he's just absolutely slaying. He's just fucking dudes up left and right. And then, like at this point, the dark wizard, he's got like say like half of the world. The entire world is just one continent, and he's like conquered half of it. And then the dark wizard's like, I'm gonna lose all my shit here. All my shit's gonna be lost in this shit that this bitch is doing with the sword. So then he goes, "Nah, Zaberkulon, you can't, dude, you can't have my shit." And then Zaberkulon's like, "What was that? I didn't hear you, bitch." And then the Dark Wizard's like, "You can't have my shit." And he's like, "I didn't hear you, bitch." And the Dark Wizard's like, "You can't have my shit." And he's like, "What was that?" And he's like, "Bitch, why would you?" And then Zaberkulon takes the sword and he cuts him, and he cuts his eye. So then the evil wizard only has one eye now. And did I mention that the evil wizard's name is Clorox? Anyways, the evil wizard Clorox is now he's now got one eye. He's like, yeah, fuck. And then this dude with the sword's like, I'll take the other one. And then he's like, no, you don't. And then the dark wizard takes his staff, slaps it into the ground, and uses a bunch of dark magic, super dark magic power. And then this dude splits the entire like world in half. So then the entire world, which was one now in one whole piece, it splits in half. And then, dude, what happens next? You're never gonna believe. He starts like drifting the two pieces apart. So then this dude has made one continent into two continents. And then, so you got the Dark Wizard on one side, which is drifting away, and then you got Zaberkulon on one side, and they're drifting away, and they're just making eye contact. And then Zaberkulon like sticks up his sword and like, one day I shall slay you. And then the Dark Wizard Clorox goes, nah, fuck you. So then Zaberkulon, he's like, well, I don't got shit to do now. Then he goes back, and he does Zaberkulon things while the evil wizard's like, he's plotting to destroy the world and stuff. And he starts raising up his slave army to destroy the world, with his dark magic. And then Zaberkulon, he's just chilling. He finds a super safe place to put the sword, out in the middle of the open in the forest somewhere. And Zaberkulon's like, one day the world's gonna need this, and he just stabs it in the stone. And basically he's like, well, I guess dude, I did my thing. So then basically this dude, he dies. And years pass, years 10,000 years, 50,000 years pass, dude, and humanity makes no significant technological advances in that time. No, dude, 10,000, 100,000 years pass, and they make no technological advancements in that time. It's still medieval times. Did I mention, dude, this was in medieval? Well, it is. And then one day, the main hero of the story, Zaberkulon, who is a descendant of Zaberkulon, yeah, yeah, Zaberkulon. So basically, Zaberkulon is like, dude, this is I'm just living a normal life. He lives in a small village, in just like a small village, and then one day, he's like, you see Zaberkulon's whole life. He's doing the chores, he's helping out with the cows, he's cutting the wheat, doing cow stuff. He's just a farmhand. That's what Zaberkulon does. And then one day Zaberkulon's just chilling. He's like, I'm gonna go out for a walk. It's a really nice day for a walk. Then he's just walking. He's walking. He's walking. He keeps on walking, and then he's like, all right, dude, I'm gonna turn around. So then he turns around to walk back to his village. And then right above his head, this massive evil dark dragon swoops above his head, and then just goes and destroys his entire village, and just goes, and then fireballs are raining from the sky and people on fire. And then this dude, he returns to his village, and he's like, dude, my village, everyone's dead. And then he sees his father, who's dead, and he's like, no, that's not what I wanted to happen today, dude. And he's just absolutely not having it. It is an upsetting day to be him, dude. So basically he's like, dude, I don't know what I'm gonna do, so fuck, I'm gonna go kill that dragon. So he's like, dude, I gotta kill the dragon. It's going west. So then it was actually going east, but he saw the direction it was going, so it really doesn't even matter. But he thinks it's west. That's not important, but yeah, it's just one of those details. So it's like, dude, and so then he packs up a backpack full of shit, and this dude goes, ah, shit, everything's destroyed. And then he sees one child, and then the child is dying, and he takes the child's hand, and he's like, and the child's like, dude, I'm gonna die. And then Zaberkulon goes, I know. Do you have any more food? I'm really low for the trip. So then the kid dies, and then Zaberkulon's like, ah, shit. So then Zaberkulon, he doesn't have a horse. So then he's like, shit, what am I gonna do? So he finds one of the cows, and then he puts a saddle. He actually owned a saddle, but he did not own a horse. He was a Zaberkulon isn't the smartest of fellows, dude. So basically, Zaberkulon is just running he's just riding on cowback, and this dude, he's like, ah shit, the fuck, how am I gonna kill the dragon? So then this dude, all of a sudden, he's just like, fuck. And then he's just riding, and then he sees this sword, which the audience knows is the Super Mega Quest for Peace sword, but Zaberkulon doesn't know that, because that was like a million years ago, when his father beat the Dark Wizard and the continent got split in half. Also, I should clarify, no one knows that about the other continent even exists. No, for like 10 million years, no one has gone out that far to see what the fuck is over there. They just haven't done it yet, dude. So basically, Zaberkulon is like, dude, I'm just gonna keep on going. And then he sees this sword. He's like, shit, dude. So then Zaberkulon gets off the cow, and then he sees the sword, and he grabs it with one hand, and he's like, dude, I can feel power flowing into this. And he tries to lift the sword and goes, and he's trying to lift the sword, and he goes, and then he looks down and sees there's a little latch, and he hits the latch, and he just pulls the sword right out. It was a safety mechanism, just in case. So now Zaberkulon's got like the all-powerful mega sword, and then a little light comes out of this sword, and this dude comes out, and he's like, I'm your supernatural aid, dude. And he's like, dude, that's pretty cool. So then this dude who's got the supernatural aid, Zaberkulon, is like, what should I do? And he's like, you gotta slay the dragon. He's like, that's fantastic. I was already gonna slay the dragon. He's like, well, fuck me then. I guess I'm worthless. And he's like, dude, I can teach you how to use the sword. And he's like, dude. So then the supernatural ghost aid that was living inside the sword, he's like Zaberkulon, and then they go on this training montage where he's like swinging the sword and learning how to do it. And then Zaberkulon, this dude, he's just like, fuck, dude, I gotta learn how to do the sword really good. And he's like, dude, I got the perfect idea for you. And then Zaberkulon's like, okay, what the fuck you talking about? And the sword's like, dude, you gotta test your sword skills. And like, how am I gonna do that? You have to take the danger path. And the danger path, he's like, the danger path? And he's like, yeah, the danger path. And the danger path has got all these fucking bandits on it, and these dudes and these evil creatures. Nobody even uses the road anymore. And then he's like, dude, but that's so dangerous. And he's like, dude, you gotta learn how to use the sword. So he's like, okay. So he gets back on the fucking cow, and then he starts riding. And then he's just like, fuck, dude, what if I die? And the sword's like, well, you might just now. And then 30 fucking bandits come out of nowhere, and then he's like, dude, give me all your money, or I'm gonna kill you and kill your cow too. No, actually, we're gonna keep the cow alive, because it is much more valuable to us alive with the milk that it can produce and such, rather than killing it for instantaneous large amounts of value. The long term is much better. Anyways, give me all your money or you die. And then he's like, dude, I'll give you something. And then he takes out his sword, and it's glowing and shit, and he's like, wow. And he just starts brutally massacring these people. Like, no business even, like, he's not even trying to make their death swift. He is just fucking brutally killing. He's slaying them. They're dying. They're just getting fucked. And then this dude doesn't even care, and he's just slash. and he just kills like 30 of these dudes effortlessly, and he's like, dude, all that training paid off. And the sword is like, dude, I know, I'm a fucking sword. And so then this dude, he's like, shit. And he looks back and he sees his cow is on the ground dying. And then they stabbed it right in the udder, so it's bleeding its milk out, which, as you all know, in my universe, cows, instead of blood, they have milk. That's how that works. So the cow's bleeding out all its milk. So then this dude, he drinks the milk and says, you'll always be a part of me. Then he kills the cow and eats it without cooking it. No, I scratched that. He cooks it first. We don't want to get that brutal with this dude. So this dude just keeps on going on this path, and he's like, a bunch of dudes pop out and he just kills them mercilessly. He's quite literally he's not even doing it to be, he's just fucking killing a lot of dudes at this point. Evil beasts come out, and he just chops them right in half with the super magical sword, with the super magical quest for peace sword. And then this dude's like, I've done a lot of work here today. And then he's just walking, and he's like, oh shit, dude. And then the sword's like, we're here. He's like, my god. And there's this big old fucking abandoned castle, and this dude's like, wow, that's an abandoned castle. And the sword's like, it most certainly is indeed an abandoned castle. So this dude, he's like, fuck, dude, we gotta go the kill the dragon. And then the sword's like, that's not all. I didn't tell you this, but there's a princess trapped there. And he's like, what, dude? How did you know that? And the sword's like, I talked with a lot of swords every day when I was in the stone, and nobody saw me there. So anyways, these dudes, he's like, how am I gonna kill the dragon? And then he's like, dude, you're gonna have to figure that one out on yourself. So then this dude's like, fuck, dude, I don't know how to slay a dragon. I even think I was gonna get this far. I thought I was gonna fucking die like 2 days ago. I really had nothing to live for. Shit. So then this dude, he's just walking over to the castle, and he's like, shit, dragon, if you're there, I'm gonna fuck you up, bitch. And then the dragon sticks its massive evil dark head out because it's a dark evil dragon created by Clorox, the dark wizard. And then this fucking dragon just starts jumping out at him, and then he does this cool roll, and then he's running through the castle, and the dragon's like chasing after him. And we do that thing where it's like they go indoors, and they're chasing each other, then they go in through another door, come out through another door, and like he's chasing the dragon then, and it goes back and forth till all of a sudden the dragon grabs him, and he's like, dude, don't do that. And then the dragon's like, shit, dude, and he lets go of him. He's like, sorry, my bad. And it's like, that was just a trick. So then he takes the sword and stabs the dragon straight through the heart, and the dragon's like, dude. And then he presses the button on the sword that activates the sword's magical power and clicks it, and then the dragon turns into a rat, and now the dragon is now rat dude. Let me write that one down. Rat dude. So then he's now got rat dude and then the dragon's cool with him now that he's rat dude, because he used the magic from the sword. Makes sense? Well, hopefully it does, because I don't know why it wouldn't. And he's like, dude, now I gotta save the princess. And then all of a sudden, this was like, you gotta take like 2 lefts here and then a right. And he's like the first left, he's like, actually the second left, then the first left after that, and then a right. And he's like, dude. So then they get lost in the castle for like 10 fucking minutes. And I don't mean like 10 minutes in the world time. I mean like actually 10 minutes of the person watching the show that they get stuck just doing jack shit. That is exactly what happens. So then these dudes, they're like, fuck, dude. Where are we gonna go? He's like, I guess we go to the tallest tower. So then they walk up to the tallest tower, and then these dudes are at the top. And then he sees the princess, and the princess is like, hello. He's like, dude, you're so beautiful. He's like, I know. And then he's like, dude, I gotta rescue you now. He's like, did you slay the dragon? He's like, yeah. He's this little rat dude on my shoulder. This dude right here. So then he and the princess and the rat dude, they go back on the road, and then they get a message from the evil wizard, and the evil wizard's like, dude, I'm gonna invade the fucking kingdom. Like every fucking person in the world sees this vision, and the evil wizard Clorox goes, dude, I'm gonna invade the world with my magical powers and prowess. And then these dudes, they go, dude, that's not good. And the evil wizard's like, yeah, it's gonna happen in like a fucking week. And then these dudes are gonna fucking die. Yeah, dude, that's just gonna happen, my guy. So then basically these dudes are like, shit, that's it's not great for us. So then we gotta get to the king right away. So then these dudes are traveling on the road, and they're like, well, we only got a week, dude. What are we gonna do? It takes us like 17 days to get to the king's palace. And then these dudes are like, well, rat dude speaks up and is like, I know a way. That Kraken's Pass. And he's like, dude, not the Kraken's Pass. And he's like, the Kraken Pass. And then these dudes are like, shit, dude, the fuck we gonna do? So then these dudes are like, shit, we gotta go to the Kraken's Pass. So then these dudes are walking like, shit, there it is. And then there's like signs posted like, don't fucking go in, you dumb fuck. And then these dudes are like, well, I guess we're gonna have to go in. And they're just walking through the Kraken's Pass. And then they get to this big old fucking lake. So then these dudes are at the lake now. And now they're like, well, this doesn't seem that bad. We just take this small boat across right here, and then we're good. And then all of a sudden there's this pelican flying over, and then there's a kraken in the water, and it takes its tentacle and it grabs this seagull, and it pulls it into its mouth, and the seagull is now dead. And they're like, dude, I did not sign up for that shit. Then the princess is like, we have to turn back. And then Zebonkulon is like, no, we gotta do this. Otherwise the dark wizard will destroy everything. If we turn back now, it'll take 3 weeks, the very most, the very least. I'm bad with directions. And then this dude is like, I'm gonna get in that boat. And then but first he throws the rat dude in just to be safe. And then he and the princess, they get in the boat, and he's like, dude, I got this. And then Zebonkulon takes the oars, and he starts rowing and rowing across. And then they get to the very center of where this dude is, the fucking kraken. And Zebonkulon's like, see, I told you, it's no worry. And then at that very fucking moment, all of the kraken's tentacles, they come up out of nowhere. And these dudes are like, fuck, it's the kraken. And the kraken just starts like, swinging around its tentacles, and then they start trying to go after and grab them. And then Zebonkulon's like fighting him off with his sword. And he's like, dude, I don't know what to do. And then he sticks up the sword in the air, and he hits the button on the sword. And then it makes a flash of light, which blinds the kraken, because the kraken has eyes on its tentacles. I just made that up now. And then these dudes, they just keep rowing and rowing and rowing. And then these dudes get to the other side, and they're like, dude, that was like the fucking easiest thing ever. Then the kraken stands up because it had legs the whole time. And they're like, dude, we gotta get inside this cave that takes us to the palace before the kraken gets to us. So they start running, and then the kraken's going after them, and then they're running, and then the kraken like reaches out a tentacle right as they're about to get inside the cave entrance. And then these dudes are like, fuck, no. And then they get into the cave the second that the tentacle would have grabbed them, pulled them in, and he would have killed them. That is exactly how it happens. If you've made it this far, good job. Okay, so then there's these dudes, they're in the cave now, and they're like, this cave leads directly to the palace for convenient plot reasons. So then they're like, that's pretty cool. And then he uses the sword and he presses the button again and it turns into like a fucking flashlight. And, all of a sudden, the entire cave is illuminated with a light and such. And, they're like, dude, this is the best thing that has ever happened to us. This sword, super good. And then, these dudes, they're walking through and they're like, oh no, dude, there's something in the cave. And they're like, what? And then, this dude jumps out and he's like, yeah. And then this dude just kills him. I don't want to go on that little tangent anymore. Fuck it. That was an entire subplot. Fuck the subplot. Dude, it doesn't even matter. And then all of a sudden, they're like, Zabankulon is like, dude, we're out of food. We're gonna starve to death. And then the prince is like, but it's been like 3 days but it's been like 2 hours since we've eaten. And this Zabankulon's like, dude, I don't know. I don't want to have to resort to cannibalism. As he looks over at Rat Dude, immediately snaps his neck and goes, dude, it just had to be that way. He then eats Rat Dude. And it's just simply the worst thing that could have ever happened. At which moment, about 10 minutes later, they find the entrance into the palace. So then they enter the palace. And the king's sitting on his throne. He's like, who are you? And the gods surround them with spears. And he's like, I'm Zabankulon, the legendary warrior. And then the king is like, ah, yes, I've heard exactly so much about you. Oh my God, you rescued the princess. And he's like, yes, I did. That was me. So then this dude, the king, is like, dude, that's so good of you, man. That's so awesome. But the dark wizard, he's coming to invade. And the 5 days, what are we going to do? And Zabankulon is like, dude, I got this. And I guess when the evil wizard shows up again, he's like, oh yeah, also, dude, I have another island where I am, and that's where I'm gonna invade you from. Okay, bye. And then Zabankulon goes, did you just hear that, dude? We gotta go to the island, and I kill him with the legendary sword, dude. So then the king then goes, dude, that's a good idea. You should take my greatest mage with you. Then this dude shows up who's wearing this wizard hat. And he's like, I'm the magic caster, dude. And then Zabankulon is like, dude, that's so cool. My sword is magic too. And then the princess is like, I guess I'll go along with too. And the king is just fine with it because, they're whatever, fuck it. I've really given up at this point. Anyway, so these dudes, they go, they're just walking and they go straight out to, the sea. And they're just walking out to the sea and they're like, dude, we've really been on a journey together, haven't we? And then all the dudes just sort of hug and they're like, dude. And then they just keep on walking. And then these dudes... they get to the port when there's like this big fucking ship there, and he's like, the Zabankulon goes, I would like one ship, please. And then the ship guy goes, dude, I can look at you right now. You look like you have enough money to buy a ship. Then Zabankulon shows the ship, the king's seal, which the dude had before, and is like, is this enough? And he's like, dude, that is enough for one free ship right there because you have the king's seal. Yeah, that makes sense. It is like, I want that ship right there. So then Zabankulon, the wizard dude, and the princess, they all get onto the ship and they're like, dude, this is the greatest idea we've ever had. And they get an entire crew for the ship. And then they're just off. They're doing dude things. At which point, and they pack plenty of food, just absolutely enough food. And then at one point, the ship's going and then nothing happens. Literally nothing happens during the entire... I want this entire show... Did I mention this? This entire show should be in real time. So that means there will be little episodes of them just sleeping. So the entire thing is just gonna be nonstop. We're not gonna miss a single second of anything that happens. You know how they do cuts and stuff? Not gonna happen. It's gonna be 24/7, nonstop, continually filming for these actors. Dude, it's just a great idea, I know. Anyways, so they're on the ship, and then they one of the dudes, he takes his spyglass and he goes, "Dude, it's a pirate ship." Everybody's like, "Dude, that's fine. We're well equipped with this great ship." Like, dude, it's not any pirate ship. It's the super mega death pirate ship quest for fuck you. Anyways, so then they're like mad the cannons, and these dudes, they're like shooting the cannons, they're missing everywhere, and then all of a sudden they shoot the pirate ship, they start shooting back, and they just start absolutely destroying the ship. And the pirate ship, they just start throwing these harpoons and like reeling themselves in, and like, dude, we're gonna fuck you up. And then Zabankulon in his great genius goes, dude, we're gonna have to invade this ship. He's like, dude, that's such a good idea. So then Zabankulon and all the other people, they jump onto their ship at the exact moment all the other pirates were gonna jump onto their ship. Then they take the pirate ship and they get it away, and all the pirates, they die. That is exactly how it happens, dude. But then all of a sudden, there's one more pirate left on the ship, and then they're like, "Oh no, he's taken one of our people captive." And then Sabankulon's like, "Dude, I got this," and he sticks up the sword and presses the button on it, and then the fucking the pirate that was still alive, he fucking gets blinded, and the wizard's like, fireball," and then he kills the fucking last pirate that was alive. Dude, that's just what happens. That is just good writing right there. At which point, now we're gonna learn about the wizard's backstory, because I can't think of what happens next. Anyways, the wizard was he's just a normal dude hanging around, and then one day he's just chilling in social studies class. It's or fucking homeroom. I don't give a shit. And then all of a sudden he just kills everyone in the room with a massive fireball, and he's like, "Holy shit! I guess I have magic powers and I'm a wizard." So then they lock the wizard away. This is the wizard dude's backstory, because I wanted to tell it now. And they lock him away, like, "Dude, you're dangerous." And he's like, "Dude." So then one day they all think he's dangerous, very evil, and then some wizard dude, he's like, "Dude, I think you've got potential." And he's like, "Dude." So then he lets him out, and then he goes on a training montage. Ugh, fuck. And then, he's this really cool wizard, and this wizard's like a father figure to him, and he's like, "Dude, thank you for teaching me how to use my power and stuff, dude." And then the wizard's like, "No problem, dude. I do, dude." And then the wizard leaves, and then the wizard becomes the hand of the king all of a sudden. That's what happens to this dude. All right, so I only have so long I can record, so I just immediately started a new recording. Sorry about that. All right, anyways, dude. So basically, the dudes that are going around right now these dudes, they're on the boat, and they're going towards the evil wizard's territory. And then they get the boat, and they like, "Dude, does anybody know how to stop the boat?" And like, "Dude, no." So then they crash into a rock on the side of the wizard's island, that is the evil island. And then the ship is just destroyed. They're absolutely fucked. These dudes are they're not having it. And then then the only people that survive are the princess, Zabankulon, and the wizard dude. So then all of a sudden, they're there, and then they see this village, and like, "Dude, it's an evil wizard village." So then these dudes are all of a sudden like, "All right, dude, we gotta go to that evil wizard village shit, bitch." And then they're just like, "Okay, dude." So then they go to the fucking village, and the villagers are like, "Dude, we know that you come from the other island. You're bad. We no." And they're like, "No, you're the bad guys." And like, "No, you're the bad guys." And then Zabankilan's like, "Wait, dude, you're the bad guys." And then he presses the button on his sword, and then they're like, "Holy shit, we are on the bad evil island." And they're like, "Damn, dude, shit's fucking crazy." So then the Zabankilan's like, "Dude, I forgive you for being evil." And then the evil village people are like, "Dude, thanks." So then they're like, "Dude, where's the evil wizard Clorox?" And they're like, "Oh, he's right over there." And then there's just Clorox standing in a field, and he's like, "Come face me in their field of battle, bitch." And they're like, "Dude, okay." So then these villages, they're like, the field of battle, that's over there, and it's like literally a football field away. So then they walk over, and it's the final battle time, and then they're ready to fight Clorox, the evil wizard. Clorox then takes off his hood to reveal that he is the mentor of the wizard on that team, and he's like, "Oh my god!" And he's like, "Dude, you have so much potential. Join the dark side of the force, dude." And he's like, "Dude, no." It's like, "Dude, yes." He's like, "No." So then Zabankilan's like, "Dude, I got this." So then he takes out the sword, he presses the button on the sword, and then his friend is just good now. And the evil wizard's like, "No." So then the evil wizard casts a lightning bolt to kill Zabankilan. Then the wizard jumps in the way of the lightning bolt. But then the princess also jumps in the way of the wizard, but it's lightning, so it chains through them and they all fucking die.